Oh, recipe remix. That's so on brand. I like it. Kimchi soup is probably one of my absolute favorite types of Korean meals. And so when I saw this kimchi and tofu soup at Trader Joe's, I nearly flipped out, especially when it said vegan, because it is not easy to find vegan kimchi soup anywhere. So I picked it up. And in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it all looks like. I'm going to serve this part up, and then I'll taste test it, which I know this has been around for a while. I have to admit, I am not a fan of the way it is right out of the box. So what I'm going to also show you is how I zhuzh it up and make it even more delicious. And it really does just take a few more extra ingredients to take this soup from to absolutely delicious and a meal that you would actually serve your family. So it comes in a box like this. You find it in the freezer section. Rip it up there. And then you pop it out, and basically what you do is you just pull the little flap up, or you puncture it. I just pull the little flap up a little bit, and then you microwave it for about 5 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna microwave it, and then we'll taste it the way it is right out of the carton. There it is, fresh out of the microwave. Ooh, it's really steamy hot. So you can see there is plenty of tofu in there. You can see some cabbage, that kind of thing. There are mushrooms in there. It's got brown rice, which that might be one of the things that doesn't really make me super happy, but you know, whatever. So let me tell you this little taste, and it is super bland. It is a little bit spicy, but not the kind of spicy that'll knock your socks off. It also is not very salty. Like, I really, I don't know, I like my kimchi soup to have a little salt to it. More kimchi. I'm gonna add some scallions. I'm gonna add some mushrooms. I'll probably add soy sauce and sesame oil. And then we'll see what else is in my fridge that I can add. I do have some like gochujang and gochujang, but I don't know if I'm gonna end up adding that to it as well. So let's just zhuzh this baby up a little bit. My first addition here are some green onions. I've got about 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. I'm just gonna trim off the ends here. And I'm gonna use pretty much the entire green onion. I'm gonna line up here, except for the ends that look a little brown to me. But I'm gonna use them in different stages of the recipe here. So let's do this part. We'll save that part for the topping. Cut these in half as well, this way. And then again, I'm gonna cut each of these down the middle before I saute them, just to kind of, you know, make it easier to saute for one. Oh, I've got my vitamins over there. All right, so I'm gonna do these. I'm gonna saute these, and at the same time, I'm gonna saute some cremini mushrooms. These cremini mushrooms were extra dirty, so I gave them a good wash. And then we're gonna saute those with the green onions. I put a little olive oil in the pan, brought it up to about medium heat, and then added the onions, or the scallions, whatever you wanna call them, green onions, and then added the mushrooms too. However much color you want to put on these is really up to you. I like the mushrooms to be pretty well cooked, and creminis hold their shape really well, I think. So I would say I'm going to saute all this for about 5 minutes. Plus, that'll help the green onions break down a little bit. I'm not a huge onion fan, so it's kind of nice to get them cooked down a little bit so the flavor is not as strong. But I kind of... This just right here, have you added just a little bit of soy sauce? I could eat this with rice just by itself. All right, let's add our soup. I want to add a little broth, and I use, let me show you here. This is what I use, this broth base seasoning. It's kind of like, it's like a mock chicken soup. It's absolutely delicious, but it is all vegan. But I don't use as much. It's like 2 teaspoons to make a cup. And I end up using 1 teaspoon of the powder and a cup of water. And I think that's plenty, especially since we're gonna add some other salty things. So I guess that's actually 4 main ingredients that I'm gonna add to this soup. So there it is. You can already tell it kind of like makes the soup, it stretches it for one, makes it a little bit more soupy. There we go. The other thing I am gonna add a little bit, I'm gonna add a little bit of soy sauce. And you can always add more soy sauce at the end. That was one of my complaints, was that it wasn't salty enough. And I will admit, I'm a salt fiend, so maybe I like my things a little bit saltier. All this is to taste. The other thing that we have to add is kimchi. And I buy the Seoul kimchi. I think I got this at Target. And I would go ahead and add some of the juice too, because the juice really, oh gosh, I love this stuff. I'm almost out of it. I'm gonna have to get some more. Kimchi soup is really hard to find vegan, like in restaurants, or I don't think I've ever seen it at a supermarket, because the kimchi generally has some animal product in it. The broth to the kimchi soup almost always has some sort of fish in it. So when I make kimchi soup, whenever I have kimchi soup, I'm usually making it on my own, and it's a little bit of a production. So this is a much easier and not budget, but time-friendly version of the soup. So I am gonna add this too. This is also a Trader Joe's thing. It's mushroom umami. It's basically just mushroom powder. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that. I am going to add just a tiny bit more, not of the kimchi, but of the actual kimchi juice. There we go. Boy, this is going to be good. All right, there we go. Just bring this back up to heat and we are ready to eat. I added just a little bit of sesame oil at the end so I could really taste that flavor when it heated up. And I just love sesame oil, but a little goes a long way, so remember that. The one other thing I think you could probably add to make this soup a little bit more hearty is a little bit more tofu. And I did have some more tofu in the fridge, so I'm kicking myself for not adding that, but let's try. Oh, that's so much better. It's like, it's just got so many different flavors now with the fresh kimchi that I added, a little bit of saltiness with the soy sauce, and those mushrooms are so good. And I love scallions, like just a nice little hint of oniony flavor. That is so delicious. So it's about $3.50 in the frozen section of Trader Joe's, like I said, which is a great deal for a frozen dinner. And once you add all the ingredients like I added, it's definitely enough soup for two. So, well, I hope you liked this recipe remix. Please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I'm usually in my kitchen whipping up 80s inspired recipes. I also do some reviews and hauls and things like that. So subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And until next time, have a great day. Ooh.